Alright, I accidentally ended it, I guess, because I literally happened to bump it with my hand to do something, and then, but in doing so, I noticed that the battery is low, so I'm charging it now. And unlike the phone, when I plug this thing in, it doesn't screw up by opening a random ass web page, to which I still haven't figured that out, despite deleting a butt ton of apps today. So that's great, wonderful, working on life. All right, happy that I told you guys all that, I'm sure. Moving on. I was on a roll. I was telling you guys about some stuff at the last part of the last video regarding I say troubleshooting, but you know, trying to figure out life, because it's clear to me that the different lives are connected, directly, indirectly, it doesn't matter, they're connected. More directly than indirect. How about this? You're gonna more adequately identify with yourself in another life than you are just somebody else in another life, right? So if I say, oh, hey, Angie, what's up? You're in life 11. How you doing? Oh, hey, Angie, you're in 8. Oh, you know, you were in 1. That's closed. There's variants of 1 and 2 and 3, right? 2 and 3 had a lot of the same notes, but then different in certain ways. I'm tired all of a sudden. It's a lot. Okay. Was talking about how if you get paid to work at McDonald's and you get paid to be a teacher and you get paid the same, that some people naturally, like if everybody got paid the same, it's one of those things where it's like, well, what would you do if you could do anything? What would you want to be when you grew up if you got paid the same, like no matter what? Well, so you may say, well, then who's going to do the shitty jobs? Oh, don't get me wrong. The shitty jobs do get paid more. But McDonald's isn't a shitty job unless it is. Like, if you get paid a good amount. Oh, all right, how about this? One man's trash is another man's treasure. Some people would view being a school teacher shittier than working at McDonald's. Do you understand that? It's just perception. Now, does anybody like being a janitor and shoveling shit and shit like that? No, probably not. I don't think anybody whistles while they work when they're fucking working in manure all day or something. So yeah, those jobs are going to get paid extra. Then people do like them. You're outside doing construction, sweating your ass off all day. You're doing shitty jobs that nobody likes. Yes, then you get paid more. To compensate you energetically, it feels the same. Would you rather get paid less and go work at McDonald's, or would you rather get paid more and go be a shit shoveler? Yeah, I'd rather be a shit shoveler. You know why? Because I want that money. Does that make sense? Golf cars of Woodstock. What's up? What I'm trying to say is it worth it? So, if in life 11, some people are looking around and they're going, well, hey, there's the have and the have-nots, and I have nots, but I want to haves. How can I haves? Well, I could perhaps budget, you know, like you guys got enough extra. I'm talking to Life 11 if you didn't know, because I didn't necessarily say that on this one. Anyways, you guys went and were able to just buy your shit outright, right? Like you just went there and you're like, hey, I want this, and they're like, thanks for your money. Now, the people who sell these things might not quite understand why there's an influx of random families coming and buying golf carts all of a sudden. This is just one example. And so they might view it like, business is good lately. Maybe we should change our model to accommodate the new. Maybe we should change our pricing, our marketing, who's coming in and buying them, who's not, why, how are they paying for it? They're buying outright. They don't need credit or anything. Because from what I understand is people don't buy shit on credit there. And again, like I was starting to say, what if they implement some sort of credit structure, buy here, pay here, is how that would probably look, not through the bank. So they'd be like, oh, come on down to the golf cart store, and if you can't afford one, we'll put you in one anyway, and you can make payments to us every month, for example. So what that's going to do, now everybody's going to have one. Now what is that going to do? Because right now there's still like a change in which a lot of people still walk, or public transit. They don't necessarily have the infrastructure for golf carts. Now what if they would not to say nobody has cars and shit, but it's like, it's more of like a communal kind of thing, and people contribute. It's hard to explain because you guys wouldn't even understand the concept. Yeah, not to mention you don't have to drive them. You wouldn't crash them because they just work. Anyways, so people are more like, hey, do you have a cup of sugar? Yeah, I have a cup of sugar. No problem. They're like that mentality. Genuinely, though. Like, don't even hesitate. Why would you even think you need to go to the store? You should have asked me. Like, that kind of mentality. Oh my God, I didn't know that you needed help with something. You should have told me. I would have helped. Like, why would you struggle through this when you could have asked me? That kind of mentality. Well, here you guys have this complex of asking for help with things because you feel like you're being needy or annoying, or you gotta be strong, and it's like that life. People don't really have that because they don't, for all the reasons of why you do have it. They didn't or don't have those as factors. Here's this though. When did this life actually start? We still don't know the answer to that. They both were what we think is rendered, or not, but we think they were because they don't even remember their backstory of their childhood and all that. Like, they don't remember what were the details and circumstances of how we met. Like, where, when, how, what was it, do we just have really bad memories? Well, he used to know, but then once you take this stuff, you don't know anymore. If they were really smart, what they would have done, okay, how about this? They're either dumb for not doing this, or it's not nefarious in this sort of way. They should have had both couples in on the study, one of them taking it, one of them not. They should have baseline questioned both of them, and then they should have started comparing if the answers change or not, because there's something that happens is you can't actually remember the quote-unquote reality once you start having memories of life 3. So you tell me, what does that mean? That he can't remember life 3, or rather he can't remember life 11 anymore, and he's like, wait, who's this, who's that? Because he's remembering life 3 details instead. Tell me that. place for her. So they had this problem where she was feeling increasingly more unrelatable to him because he kept saying like the old shit, and she's like, no, it's not like that, you know, or rather not saying it, but just being like, I don't know, like unspoken, like, I'm just gonna keep this to myself kind of thing, because he seemed like his feelings were hurt or something about certain things, and she was just like, I don't want to press this, so I'm gonna just suffer in silence, you know, which at the time I was like, well, okay, I think this is screwing up shit. You should get her off the study. I know you know, like, you've acclimatized to the increase of money, but you gotta figure it out. It's obviously not doing you guys good. Can you just pretend you're on the study and you're not? You know. Now, see, once you're on it, or, you know, once you do this, I don't think you can go back, because that is what the problem, if you call it, I'm gonna put in quotes, problem is. He didn't have to do this repeatedly to get all the updated shit that she knew. He's like, oh, I get it now, like, immediately. So, however, what if it was opposite? You know, what if he was the one on the study? Why did they approach her, not him? I don't know, but what if he was on the study and we got a hold of him? Because that is how it is for 28. 28 variant is 3 years ahead of you guys. Life 3 parallel 2. As in, different circumstances, not quite the same. He says his Angie is basically unconscious. He can't get through to her. She shut down due to what happened after the nuclear winter and the FEMA camps. It basically soul scarred her, and then she shut down emotionally and stuff. So he did plant medicine about it. But then things changed, and she changed with it, as if to say, this is how his reality is. He'd say, hey, do you remember when this happened or that happened? And she'd be like, no, it didn't happen like that. It happened like this. Kind of in a way gaslighting him. But he's like, no, I understand what happened here is that I was conscious through the shift. She was unconscious. So because she was unconscious, she just like basically woke up, and it was like the new memories and or reality of things was this way. But for him, he was like, no, this changed and that changed. So he was like an accurate historical record keeper. So too is the Vatican hallway of rooms where they keep these Mandela studies. See, I think we're getting somewhere here with this, by the way. Check this out. So, I think, in some sort of way, the Vatican and this study is connected. Okay? What is the deal here? If so. As in, what are they trying to do? Are they trying to jump to evade us? Because let me tell you something. Let me ask you guys this question, okay? I really want you to fucking ponder this, because this is deep. Where would you run and hide if you knew divinity was going to come and smack you upside the head eventually? Don't you think you would create another life? Follow me here. Entirely. Take random citizens from it and make them so that you could jump your consciousness into willing participants. Rather, by willing, I mean, how fine-tuned did you read the dotted line or whatever under, you know what I mean? The fine print. Because, dude, what if I told you that they couldn't jump to you unless you're on the study? Now, look, I'm not trying to be weird about this part, the racism part, but what if they've purposely selected women, because I forgot about that part. Exactly. And they're thinking, we can run and hide, and we can mask as these women who are from Life 3. Nobody would suspect, and we'll just lay low and be in the background. What do you think? Does that sound about right? About the amount of people. Why didn't they pick him? They picked her. Who goes to the grocery stores and does the shopping? It's not to say it's because women do this, men do that, but generally speaking, for some odd reason, okay, how about this? It could be that Angie doesn't see people who are minority and men on the study because maybe she just doesn't. Maybe she just doesn't. But we're thinking this makes sense. Is that they created Life 11 with some sort of templating from 3 of who's the most viable energetics. Why would they have only one be on the study so that the other one stays, and then they could take over and blend? Okay, so they push Angie to the back. Am I right? Dude, you'd be married to some creepy Vatican blood drinking gross person. How do you feel about that? Huh, that would be so great. Ew. Okay. And would you even recognize me if I was in another form? As in, would you even know? Especially if they faked the funk. If they were like, man, I really like my new life. All I gotta do is say the study is done once we jump. And then what would happen is these people would be like, what? I don't remember doing that. I have a lapse in memory. And you'd be like, yeah, right. You guys did that. And they'd be like, no, I swear I don't remember. That's because they jumped and basically left a shell of consciousness without memory, is kind of how that works. It's like I vaguely remember it, but I don't remember. It's like blacked out kind of, but not. It's like all of a sudden they'd start being different and being like nice and not stupid and weird. But I don't remember being like that. Now don't sit here and be weird about it, like, well, if I change this person, does that mean I used to be? No. Probably not, unless you consciously fucking remember jumping to that point. True, they could erase that part. But you guys, you regular ass people, even unless you're clones. Yeah. I'm like trying to figure out. No, okay, listen. What they're doing is for the purpose of, they know what they're trying to do. What do you guys think? Does this sound like the most fucking viable option here? Is that they created 11 with duplications of energetics, decided, let's jump to the women. The men will never know because they're dumb. Not even kidding. As long as we give them sex, they won't fucking suspect a goddamn thing. And yeah, what do you guys think? Everybody's like, yup, okay. So what's the advice we tell Angie to do? What if the next time she goes in, they say, she's ready, let's jump to her? How do they do it? Because I know they do it mechanically. They don't know how to do it meditatively. They use CERN or some shit, right? Like technology is what I'm trying to say, not necessarily CERN. But am I right about that? Okay. We don't know for sure, but I'm sure they got, if they need technology to do that, I'm sure they got that there. Okay, so what that would look like is Angie just wouldn't come home one day, or would she? But she might be different, and you would know because you took it. You weren't supposed to. You were supposed to be unsuspecting. You guys were supposed to be having marital issues. She comes in and says, well, we're having marital issues. That's why. Or rather, if they come to her and say, well, why aren't you coming in? Because it's like that movie where they harvest, or rather, you have a real person living a life, and then something island, right? I don't know. And then with Ethan Hawke, you guys know what I'm talking about? And so then it's time to call in your number, this Galactica, and then like fucking, hey, I'm a real person. Well, I didn't know they were real fucking people, but hey, I need the body still. Like, it's all fucked up. That's what it's like, is what it feels like, is that life 11 is shell life. For them to go live cushy little lifestyles, they don't really give a shit what you guys bought with the study money. It was meant to be temporary. Close it up, isn't it? They're getting ready to jump. We don't care if you guys nuke yourself to winter. We don't care if you do the FEMA camps, because we're gonna be the fuck out of here anyway. We don't need Black Friday to happen. We're gonna jump anyway. Damn. Okay. Don't go in. But what does that mean? Because you're not going in Tuesday. You're going in next Tuesday, right? Don't go in. But what does that mean? If they come knocking, hey, you're important to us. But they won't come themselves. Obviously, they're not even there. They're not even there. Okay. If you would say to the low levels, hey, they don't have Reptos, do they? Do they or do they not? Do they have Enforcer rep? They don't think they need to. Okay. Don't talk about Reptos to them. Listen, check this out. If this is true, and we will like get more details along the way if we feel like this isn't right, but so far this feels right as fuck. Right as rain. Purple rain, gentle rain. Check this out. If they come knocking when you don't go, and again, we might change this part too. I would say something like, I don't want to do the study anymore because it's causing marital issues. Then, see what they do next. Here's what they might do. Here's some options. They might try to compensate you more. They might try to offer some kind of counseling or something. I don't know, but it feels like they won't go out with big guns and like strong arm you, because that would raise suspicions, and you might not be the only one. So they might have a protocol for what to do if people start, like, here's what you do if somebody doesn't come in. Check up, knock on the door, say, because you guys don't have phones like that, right? Do you have landlines even? So how do people get a hold of you? Like, you have to log into the internet, and it's like weird internet, like fucking AOL or some shit. God, you guys are weird. All right, so basically, when you check your email one day, hey, we noticed you didn't come in for the study. How did they even notify you anyway? Did they come door to door? They solicited? This shit's annoying. I'm like, I will not talk to you on the fact that they came with cash, huh? They're like, hi, have you heard the good news? And they're like, they hand you like $100 bill. You're like, no, I have not. What kind of good news are we talking here? I would listen to that. Hell yeah, you got $100 for me? I'll listen to you. You want some water? You see, somebody comes with money, you're gonna hear them out. Why wouldn't you? That'd be dumb, right? Even if you don't need it. I don't need it, but sure, I'll take $100, whatever. Who's on your money? It'd be funny. If it's like, is it like, because you guys have different fucking, why did they make it so different? Just so that they could keep it straight, probably, huh? All right. Ozan 35. Ozan? OZAN 35. Oz and 35. 3035. Ozone 35. 35? Oh, fuck. Anyways, alright, back to reality. Or not. Okay, how about this? You know, this is what we do every night before you guys wake up anyway, right? Sit around and we try to get the best fucking plan for the day going forward. And then we'll reassess as time goes on. Today's Sunday. You don't want to go to work, but you'll do it tomorrow? No problem, but you got the plan. But what if you're affiliated with the Catholic Church? Doesn't matter if you're not at the Vatican. Oh, but if you're Leo, you might want to hear this, because they ain't taking you, my friend, and you are the fall guy for the whole organization. You know why? Because that's what people associate the modern Catholic Church with, is the poop. So, you know, they're gonna be like, oh my god, some poor bloke from Chicago, you know, just some dude trying to be a good dude, and they're gonna be like, I cannot believe all these atrocities. Okay, has anybody told him about the doorways yet and the variants of such? Because guess what? We suspect they have the biblical, historical Jesus prior to crucifixion in one of those rooms in the dungeons of wherever the fuck they do their weird blood drinking sacrificial shit. We think that dude is sitting there in one of those rooms just fucking eating bread and drinking water to live. I don't fucking think that's a good idea. You might say, well, if he's Jesus, why the fuck can't he fucking poof himself out of there? Well, he couldn't get himself out of a crucifixion, could he? And I think they intercepted him prior to it happening. Let me explain. Guide went and talked to what he thought was a variant, as if to say they split it into two, and when they did, this is how we figured that they figured out that this happened. Okay, imagine you open a door every day, you say, who's the president? Hillary. Who's the president? Hillary. Who's the president? Trump. They're like, oh shit, something changed. What changed? Let's figure it out. Open the door. Jesus is still here. Open the door. Jesus is still here. Open the door. Shit, he's gone. What happened? Guide went back. Didn't affect a parallel variant or whatever Jesus from getting crucified. Affected the actual one and said, don't fucking do it, bro. He thought it was a variant. We think it was the OG. He got him to basically go off and da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay? Now what we think happened is they went back in and yanked the dude up anyways. Why? Because they want to do a second coming. Well, at least that's one of their fucking plans. They have many, because a good fucking strategist would plan for many things, right? They wouldn't just plan for one, and if it doesn't work out, then they'll revise. They're going to say, well, if we pull this one, we'll do this, and if we pull that one, we'll do that. So they're like, if we do the second coming with the actual biblical, historical Jesus, and we say, you know, this is him prior to the crucifixion, look, we're the good guys. We kept it from happening. Something like that, right? They didn't know for sure. They just know they wanted the dude for all the reasons. So, and they believe nobody would discount that that's the real guy. And I don't know why, as if to say, don't you think people would question it? Why do they think nobody would question it? Why are they so sure? I don't know. That makes me wonder. What do they know, or what is it about that dude? Is it just the appearance? Is it the authenticity of the times? What is it about him just like, what's the deal? I don't know. All right. Anyways, that's just one of their plays. If you guys were to open up, first of all, there's got to be a Mary left 2,000 years ago who's probably pretty pissed off. Where the frick did he go? Not where did he go? Look, that plate has a 33 on it. What's with the double numbers? Okay. Duplicates. Did they swap them? Shoot. Okay. Hey, guide. What you doing? What you up to? You know what I'm about to say, right? Ask them to run it. For those of you who don't know, Guide's about to try to figure something out real quick. He's the one who intercepted them in the first place. Now, see, we're not going to try to go back prior to and try to keep that from happening. No. Instead, what we're going to do is verify if Mary even knows that he's gone or anything. Like, what are they up to now that he's gone? Do you guys even know where he went? Can you ping him? Are they talking to him telepathically? You get what I'm saying, right? All right, find that out for us, please. And don't fuck it up like Life 11 when I asked them to check in with 8 Clover Valley and shit. You got that too? See, Guide's picking up all the slack. You guys suck. I know, he's fucking said they're doing nothing anyway. Alright, you got 8 and you got Jesus. Alright. Mary for that matter. You found your Mary? Brings all new meaning. Okay. Cool. What else we got? So we'll figure that out. Yeah. Okay. Alright. We don't know when they're planning on doing this jump. We don't think they're ready just yet. Why? Well, we think this is a makeshift plan that happened only within the last couple months. As if to say back, like, maybe a possibility / backup became their prominent. Possibly. Yeah. Maybe they really don't know what they're gonna do for sure, and they're just like, this is one of our viables. But what does that mean though? That means they created consciousness by having them where they already conscious them. You know, like, how far back does the backstory go? As if to say, are they real? You know? But here's the best part. They really probably don't think that we could potentially get a hold of them and foil their fucking plans. By the way, is it based on energetics? Because is somebody telling them, hey, your plans have been foiled? Or does whatever system or whatever they use basically just update with whatever is the most shitty for us kind of plan known to man at all fucking times? Like, we're always constantly on the ball every day, always shifting, because they are. If you have an opponent who's always shifting, you gotta always shift too. Unless you know where they're headed. We think we know that they want to jump to Life 11. Angie, what would you do if you had some old fuck try to take over? See, if they do it mechanically and they literally take over, where does Angie go? Back into the mainframe? That's what I think. So, basically, you'd have to oof her. You know? What happens to you guys if you oof people there? I don't know. Nobody oofs people here. Oh, okay. Alright. They would totally fuck that planet up. Or that, you know what I mean? They would just... They would do all the same shitty, stupid things, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they? Or would they not? Would they just hide? Yeah, they'd just blend and hide, probably. I'm a girl now. Assholes. Okay. Why does mom act so different now? Right? Like masking, blending, whatever, but then to the kids, like, get that fuck away from me. I'm a fucking or, oh god, yeah, let's not go there. They're like, I'm thirsty for some blood again. What can I do here? Ugh. Okay. What do you do when you observe some shit like that and you say, I think I want to fucking stay as far away from that shit as I can? Is that it keeps on happening and it festers and it gets worse without your visibility on it. And I understand, well, I don't want to participate in that shit. Nor did Francis. But that's why it got so bad. Is because if you let shit go long enough, it's just gonna get worse and worse. With no oversight, with no accountability, with no divinity. It's devoid of divinity to every fucking extent. There is no divinity in these fuckers. They're on the level of Hitler. I can't say worse or better because it's apples and oranges, but I'm telling you right now, it's not good. Now, until they are fucking dealt with, I think we have a problem called, do you really think you can qualify for open contact when you have these fuckers trying to jump ship to Life 11, to y'alls, to you peoples, to some of you, Angie included, but others as well. They're not supposed to talk about the study. Oh, they'll know who they are though, for sure, yeah. Once they jump, then they'll be like, yo, what's up? Let's go fucking do our weird shit now that we're here. Or not. It might be one of those things like, we don't talk about Bruno. What better way to fucking keep it under wraps is to never fucking talk about it. That's why your spouse doesn't even know. Wow. You guys had a good relationship prior to this shit, huh? The study happens, and then you guys start having problems, and then all of a sudden one day your problems are all fixed because she's acting better again or some shit, right? Like everything's fine. Why do you think they take all this extensive questionnaire quizzing of all the fucking details about your history and shit? Because they need to study it so that you get all the questions right. Now what happens if she starts answering the questions based on Life 11? You're going to say, that ain't Angie. Because you're going to say, I remember Life 3 now. Therefore, I remember, well, you don't remember just 3. You remember other shit too, right? And you too, as in her. Where's she at? Anyways, you get what I'm saying, right? Are you going to tell her all this? Are you going to remember all this? Because this is a lot. Should I come home and you're like, alright, check this out. She was here. Why'd she leave? Dude, I would have been like, I'm staying for this conversation. Oh, because the video ended. She thought we were done. No. Whatever. I know that would be a lot too, also. To be like, so they're trying to kill me. Okay, great. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah. It's like somebody like Brandon's mom would never fucking get Life. She couldn't handle this shit if it fucking hit her in the face. Like, you tell me explaining this to somebody like that. Oh, you had a bad day today because something stupid, petty? Oh, well, I just found out that on Life 11, the fucking weirdos at the Vatican are trying to, like, take over my life. And, like, I don't know which one of them, but one of them is. You know, they got my fucking life on for them. And, you were saying? Oh, well, no, that's just life 11. Because then there's also life 8. We still got to get a hold of. Oh, and by the way, historical Jesus. I mean, there's that. Like, what? Oh my God, she's lost her mind. You know? Brandon doesn't have a clue in the universe that he's not even talking to Angie, because you just don't expect or would think that. You know, you just wouldn't. Let's say it was a 5D light body masking. What do you know? Let's say it was a reptilian shapeshifting. What do you know? You know? Like, no, clearly not. He's not very observant. Rather, did he ever even know Angie? Clearly not. Not that that's surprising. More just an observation. You don't know Angie very well, because you can't tell that she's, like, in channel mode. Before, yeah. Over the last year, it would be like an on switch, off switch situation where she would turn on the video channel, turn it off, be Angie. Not to say that she wasn't in channel mode, not on the video, and also not Angie on video. Those two also. But this is next level to where she's in channel mode more than she's not. Why? Because we got shit to do. Called figure out life. Figure out life. So there's reasons it's important for her in life 11 at this point to have me working as much as I am. Because if we were going to switch to 11, no, they were going to switch to 11, and then we'd have a big problem. So what are we doing about it? Alright. Unless anybody has anything, I think we're done of this. You got anything, 11? Got anything, guide? Alright, get back to us. Hey, look, it's the big chicken. Get back to us on that. I would prefer to not have to ask you. You know, I got a lot on my plate to remember, and I basically just take it as it comes. But if you have information, then be like, I got information, please. Okay. $28, $38, who else? I think that's it. Alright, cool. We're gonna end it there. Sweet. Adios.